3.5 centuries ago, a lonely Dutch station clung to the foot of Africa. It was meant only as a way station, gardens and cattle pens to feed the ships of the Dutch East India Company, the VOC, on their voyage to the Indies. Yet here, beside a river winding through thickets of round thorn, het Ronde Durenboschen, today's Rondebosch, a bold experiment was about to begin. In 1656, Commander Jan van Riebeeck considered granting freeman status to some company servants. He feared the cost of housing and protecting independent households. The directors of the VOC saw opportunity. A population of free burghers, in Afrikaans Burghers, could cultivate the land, supply food for passing fleets, and reduce company expenses. By February 1657, Van Riebeeck acted, selecting men to form the first 2 free burgher settlements. They were no longer mere employees, but not yet fully independent citizens. They were pioneers, a bridge between Europe's trading empires and the contested Cape. Their choice to accept freedom planted the first roots of settler society in the thorny flats of Rondebosch. There were conditions. Only married men of strong moral character, of Dutch or German descent, were eligible to receive land. Upon request, their wives and children were to be brought from Europe to join them. 9 men stepped forward, forming 2 small settlements along the Riebeeck rivier. Harmon's colony, west of the river in the fertile flats, gathered 5 men of varied origins and trades. Herman Riemenjenner, a marine from Cologne, brought the discipline of the sea to his rough new homestead. Jan Martens de Wacht, a Dutch marine from Vreeland, traded the rolling deck for the patient work of the plough. Jan van Passel, a soldier from Geel, Belgium, turned military precision to clearing and fencing his strip of land. Werner Cornelis, a Dutch boatman from Nunspeet, used river skills to irrigate the fields beside the Riebeeck. Roelof Janssen, a Dutch soldier from Dalen, faced the frontier with the hardiness of a veteran. Their farms lay about 15 kilometres from the Fort de Goede Hoop, in an area known as Amstel or the Grunveld. They could choose plots as long and broad as they wished, provided they remained on the far side of the river. Across the river, near the fort, lay Stephen's colony, in a tract called the Dutch Garden. 4 men settled here. Stephen Jans Boertma, a Dutch sailor from Wageningen, lent both his name and quiet leadership to the group. Hendrik Elberts, a German cadet from Osnabrück, brought youthful ambition to the heavy labour of turning wild ground to wheat. Otto Janssen, a Dutch soldier from Vreda, applied a soldier's endurance to the sandy soil. Jacob Cornelis, a Dutch soldier from Roosendaal, traded musket for mattock in pursuit of a farmer's independence. These plots face the Grunveld meadows, where company herds grazed and khoi cattle once roamed freely. Here, the first seeds of settler society took root. Why did these men risk the certainty of company pay for the dangers of private farming? Life as a servant of the VOC was tightly controlled. Wages were small. Discipline was strict. After years of back-breaking labour, few could hope to return to Europe with enough savings to start anew. The offer of land, however modest, promised independence, a home, and the chance to build a family in a world largely unclaimed by Europeans. Some workers chose to remain at the Cape even after completing their VOC terms of service. Families were brought from Europe to join them, creating the first permanent European households. For the VOC, the arrangement was equally advantageous. The station was costly to maintain, yet company gardens rarely produced enough for the fleet. Free burghers could supply grain and meat, reduce wage bills, and expand cultivation without direct expense. Van Riebeeck also saw another benefit. These settlers would act as a buffer along the Riebeeck, opening land to controlled settlement while defending company interests. Freedom for the men, profit for the company. Each side gained. Letters of freedom were limited and conditional. Some settlers received time-bound status, others lifelong. Applicants were chosen for skill. Farmers, gardeners, hunters, carpenters, and other trades essential to survival and prosperity. Life along the Riebeeck Rivier was a mix of hope and hardship. In the thorn thickets of Rondebosch, families carved farms from dense bush, planting wheat, vegetables, and vineyards. Each day demanded labour, clearing stones, digging irrigation channels, tending livestock, repairing fences after storms, or wandering game. Every seed sown was a gamble, every harvest a victory. The early burghers adapted quickly to the Cape. Wagons were reinforced for the rough terrain. A corn mill harnessed the river's power. Settlers supplied construction materials and services to the company, earning income through contracts. Some negotiated small monopolies. Dr. Jan Vetterman, the fort's surgeon, practiced exclusively for a fee. Others, Roelof Zuiverts, wagon maker, Martin Flockart, and Jan Adriaansen, fisherman, Peter Klei, Dirk Frium, and Peter Einser, carpenters, turned their skills into livelihoods. Each burgher carved a place for himself in this new world. Education and community life developed quickly. The first school, built to teach rescued enslaved children from the ship Amersfoort, soon welcomed the children of free burghers. Reading, writing, and arithmetic were combined with practical lessons to prepare the young for life at the Cape. Burgher children paid a small fee. Enslaved and Khoisan children were taught free of charge. Faith was central to daily life. Most burghers were Calvinists, and the Dutch Reformed Church shaped their morals, routines, and sense of community. Sundays were for worship, reflection, and teaching, while church discipline reinforced social order. Religion offered structure and comfort in an uncertain land, binding settlers together through shared belief and guiding both work and family life. By 1662, the Cape's population included 35 free burghers, 180 enslaved people, 134 company officials, 15 women, and 22 children. The first free men had become the nucleus of a growing European settlement. The burghers elected representatives to a council. Stefan Jans and Hendrik Boom served as the first representatives, giving settlers a voice in governance under VOC supervision. Though the land was fertile, farming remained precarious. Floods washed away seedbeds, droughts scorched young shoots, wildlife threatened crops. The burghers learned that freedom demanded constant labour, negotiation with the VOC, and careful management of resources. Their social ties, marriage, friendship, and shared work were as vital as fields and fences. In Rondebosch, independence was lived daily, in every ploughed furrow, every repaired roof, and every communal meal under the thorn trees. From these humble beginnings, the early free burghers shaped a distinctive way of life. Their farms, trades, and skills sustained the settlement and laid the foundation of a community that was self-reliant, yet still linked to the company's broader network. The first free burghers of the Cape, Harman's colony in the western thorn thickets, Stephen's colony along the river in the Dutch garden, were ordinary men taking extraordinary risks. The echoes of their efforts remain in the gentle bends of the Riebeeck, in the streets and names of Rondebosch, and in the memory of men and women who dared to claim their own piece of the world at the edge of empire. From these humble beginnings, settlers pushed further into the hinterlands, creating independent communities like Swellendam and Grafrenet, places that would one day challenge company rule and form not just separate farming areas, but republics of their own. The story continues.